Lowe's knows to bring your vision to life, it's important to find the right color. That's why MyLowe's Rewards members get a free Valspar paint or exterior stain sample to test your look to confidently refresh your space. Offer valid in-store only 8/7 to 8/20. Limit 1 per customer while supplies last. Discount taken in time of purchase. See associate for details. Rewards program subject to terms and conditions. Details at lowes.com/terms. Subject to change.
Let's discuss this with Simon Marks, LBC's Washington correspondent, and certainly my favourite Washington correspondent. Simon, hello. It's all kicking off all over the flipping place.
It certainly is, Vanessa. I mean, we are on the eve now of an unprecedented potential showdown between European leaders, Volodymyr Zelensky and his European allies, and the American president, after Europe was completely stung yesterday when Donald Trump essentially, after the collapse of that summit in Alaska on Friday, decided that he was going to abandon his quest for a ceasefire in Ukraine and instead adhere himself firmly to Vladimir Putin's calls for Ukraine to cede control over the entire Donbass region in the east in order to advance the cause of peace. So European leaders now racing to join Volodymyr Zelensky here on Monday, partly, I think, to protect him from another made-for-TV mugging by Donald Trump, and if he's in the room, Vice President J.D. Vance. But also, this is essentially a race now to save the transatlantic alliance that has kept the peace in Europe for the last 80 years. Now, White House officials here are suggesting that this is going to be a day-long series of meetings tomorrow. They say there will be breakout sessions, and they are almost couching this as though it is the negotiation. It is the discussion at which land swaps will be agreed. Remember, land swaps that Volodymyr Zelensky has completely ruled out. But this sense of uncertainty going into the meeting is absolutely overwhelming, given that we only knew within the last 2 or 3 hours that the Prime Minister would be joining French President Emmanuel Macron, German Chancellor Friedrich Merz, Ursula von der Leyen and other top European officials in this rush to Washington to try and shore things up for Zelensky.
I mean, one of the things we know is that Putin is trumpeting Friday's meeting as a great success for Russia and a PR coup and an absolute triumph, and all that footage of him on the red carpet in the presidential limo and generally being fawned all over and, lick-spittled has been incredibly beneficial to him. He's thoroughly enjoyed using it, making much of it, hasn't he? So Donald Trump must be smarting, because we know that he has this very thin skin, a very delicate ego, and that he also responds favourably to being fawned over and a bit of sycophancy. So he's going to be feeling, obviously licking his wounds. And also, I think we felt on the international stage that he was going to kind of saunter in and come out with something. There was going to be something on the table. Instead of nothing, the lunch was abandoned. The meeting ended hours early. The whole thing was egg all over Trump's face, really. So what do you think he must be feeling now? And what on earth is he going to bring to the meeting tomorrow?
He's desperately trying to turn it around. I mean, the wound licking with Donald Trump never lasts very long. Yesterday morning, European leaders may have been hoping that he would spend the weekend in quiet reflection over why it was a huge mistake to invite Vladimir Putin to set foot on American soil for the first time in a decade, much less applaud him as he stepped off his aeroplane, roll that red carpet out, give him a trip in the beast, and even, Vanessa, allow him to speak first at a joint press appearance that was being held on American soil, utterly unprecedented in the annals of the modern American presidency. But any wound licking didn't last longer than the round of golf that he had yesterday with US Special Envoy Steve Witkoff. By the time that was over, the White House was indicating that they were backing Putin's territorial claims on Ukraine. They've interestingly this morning backed away a little bit from that. Steve Witkoff was asked on television here within the last hour if he could confirm that Donald Trump was absolutely now backing Putin's demand for the whole of eastern Ukraine, and Witkoff just wouldn't go there today. That's what tomorrow's meetings are all about, he said. So there is a sense that they understand that they have deeply irritated, not just Zelensky, of course, but enraged European leaders with whom only last Wednesday Donald Trump struck an agreement, a 5-point plan for the for the summit with Vladimir Putin that he then completely binned the second he was in Putin's embrace.
Simon Marks, thank you very much indeed.